Hi everybody, welcome back to All Things Useful. My name's Murat and today we'll be looking at an Iveco daily short wheelbase, and it's a 2007 model, and we'll be looking at doing a basic service and oil change and oil filter change. So we've just put our van into a level position. As you first saw, it was on a big slope, pulling up the bonnet release latch, and we will lift the bonnet and up it gets. And looking inside, you got to find your oil cap and your engine oil cap, so that will need to remove. There's your oil level stick, so that's important as well. And over here down there is the oil filter, just there, and that will need to be removed. And sometimes that can be a bit difficult, but with correct tools you can get them off. So we'll show you that a bit later. So take the cap off, put it somewhere. This is the oil we'll be using, and you'll need a container to put in there. Check with the manufacturer for the correct oil. And this is a tool for removing the oil filter, so it's just a strap that goes around. You can make something yourself. So we take off the air filter, cabin filter, and we just remove the screws from that. You could use a cordless. Sometimes it's a bit tight, so maybe even a Phillips head screwdriver might be better for this. So once you get that off, it gives you a bit more clearance down to remove that oil filter. When you do get your new oil filter, always remember to put some oil around the O-rings of them. So once these screws are off, you'll get the filter off. You can check that filter and clean it out as required or replaced, but today, like we said, we'll be just doing the oil filter and the oil replacement. So there's an under tray cover, and that's held on by 4 bolts. So there's 1, 2, 3, and there's one on the other side, that's the 4th. So that needs to come off just so that we've got some access from the bottom. These came off with a 10mm socket set. So just undoing all those all the way, one by one, until each are off. Always put these into a container just so that you don't lose them. Try to keep all your bits and pieces all together. So it's always good to get a container, and as you take off each, put them in. Now this under tray, if you take the front of it off first, the back part can be harder to get to, so always leave the front bolts partially on and remove the back ones first, and then move up to the fronts and do them last when you can move out of the way. We found that we needed this hex bit to undo the last ones at the back, so after doing that we got that off. Now here we are trying, very, very difficult, quite a tight spot, very hard to see, but yeah, we're trying to get the nut off the oil pan, so that was a large hex piece. Now this was a bit tricky, so you will need to measure it up and get the right size for this. Getting the oil out, drain your oil, letting all the oil drain out. So you might just leave it and let it drain out at its own pace, but it didn't take too long. Once that's done and drained and empty, then we check our O-ring, make sure it's all clean and fine, and then we wipe up around the sill where the filter sits and make sure it's all nice and clean for the new filter. So
that's what you're doing before.
So what we've done is we've made a little hand job, goes in there. Right, go for it. Getting on my hands more up. Yeah. You're being videoed, don't fuck it up.
Shut up.
sure you do a very good job. So we get lots of subscribers.
You're shaking your hand. Relax.
I'm not going to edit this part. This part's going like this.
We're going to have to edit your handshake.
That's right. I'm getting old. No voiceover for here. Careful, don't get my hand.
Relax, bro. Get all of the oil out.
Okay. And now we're just finalising with the air filter back in place for the cabin and the oil engine cap back, and check the dipstick for the levels. Wash down with degreaser and clean the engine. And finally your power steering, just make sure its levels are okay. Your engine air filter, your water bottle for your wipers, make sure it's fine. Booster for the brakes, and finally your coolant. Thank you.